Hi, we're going to start with our feet, the platform on which we stand and move about most of the time. And we're going to start with a proprioceptive warm-up for the feet, and then later I'll do some conditioning exercises for the feet. So I'll explain what that means, a proprioceptive warm-up, as we go along. But we're going to start by just taking our thumbs to our feet and rubbing our thumbs along the soles of our feet, waking up some of the tissues. You're not digging a hole. You're not digging a trench in your foot. You're just kind of allowing your feet to be experienced. So that's basically a proprioceptive warm-up. Just means that we're kind of awakening the nervous system, helping our body feel where it is. And so we're just giving a little rub to the soles of our feet with our thumbs, and then we're going to shift and we're going to put our thumbs on the inside of our heels. So here's my malleolus, my ankle bone. Here's my calcaneus, my heel bone. I'm going to put my thumb in between those two places. I'm going to give a little rub. There's a lot of important muscles that control your feet, which begin in the lower leg and then travel through this place right here. And again, I'm not pressing hard. I'm not trying to have a deep tissue massage with this. I am just simply waking up the nervous system. You have nerves that go from your central nervous system out to your body, giving instructions. And then you also have nerves that go the other direction. I'll say more about that in a minute. After you've done that little foot preparation, you're going to cross one ankle over the opposite leg. If this is too much for your hip, no problem, just straighten out that bottom leg. I'm going to do it with my leg crossed this way. And I want to make sure that my foot is not sickled over here, not supinated, but instead crossed over my thigh so that I have a nice line through my lower leg and my foot. And then I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to thread them in between my toes. Now, this will be a bit painful and uncomfortable for some of you. If it's too much, you don't have to do your fingers between every toe, maybe just the first two if you can tolerate it. But especially if you wear point shoes or tight-fitting shoes, this might be really uncomfortable. So just take a second to adjust, figure out how you can make it work for yourself. And once you feel okay with that, you're gonna go into a pointing and flexing move. So I'm gonna hold my ankle steady. This is not an ankle move. I'm trying to articulate, I'm trying to move at my MTP joint. That's my metatarsal phalange joint, where my metatarsal meets my toes. I'm going to bend back and forth, just getting some mobility, waking up the foot, waking up the nerves. So we have nerves that go from the body, the periphery, into the central nervous system, and those are nerves that are collecting information and telling the brain and the central nervous system all kinds of things about where we are in space, what movements we're doing, the direction of pressure, the amount of pressure, the speed at which things are changing, certain angles of stretch. And the central nervous system then synthesizes that and makes a plan. Pause that thought. You're going to twist your foot this way. So I'm holding my ankle steady, and I'm going to give a little twist this way to look at my toenails, and then I'm going to give a twist this way to look at the sole of my foot. So I'm looking at my toenails, and then I'm looking at the sole of my foot. I'm going to do that a few times. So when we do things like this, when we touch our body, when we look at what we're touching, when we rub, squeeze, change the angles of our joints, we're giving a lot of information, waking up the nervous system, reminding the body where that foot is so that it has the best chance possible to communicate with the central nervous system. After I'm done with this twisting action, I'm going to do an ankle circle. I'm going to do this in both directions, and I'm trying to relax my leg muscles and my foot and ankle muscles and really use this arm here to steer or stir my ankle in both directions. So by doing these moves and waking up the nerves, we have a better chance of maintaining balance, of shifting our weight smoothly, and therefore avoiding injury and stress in the body. So that's what this is. This is this proprioceptive sort of wake up or warm up for the body, starting with the feet, which give our body so much information. Take your hand out. Enjoy that relief of that intense sensation. And then you're gonna scissor your toes. So I'm taking my big toe in one hand, and with the other hand, I'm taking the second toe, and I'm scissoring back and forth. And then I'm gonna do the next set, second toe and third toe, scissoring back and forth. Should feel kind of good, maybe a little zingy, shouldn't be painful, but you know, definitely a sensation, something for the foot to experience. Go all the way to the baby toe. And then I do a little pull and circle. So I'm going to hold on to my metatarsal. I'm going to very gently pull and circle my toe. And then I go the next one. I hold on to the second metatarsal. I can really feel it between my fingers here. And then I'm going to grasp my toe and give a little circle and a little circle. You go all the way to the end and do the baby toe. All right, we're done with that foot for now. Go ahead and stretch both legs forward. And if you've been doing it with me, you might really feel a difference. I can see a difference. The color is different from one side to the other, and the sensation is different. Go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and relax. And just notice how different one side feels from the other. Maybe it radiates all the way to your upper leg and your back. And all right, let's do the other side. So we cross over. We take hand to foot, we thread fingers through toes. All right. And give a little squeeze, take a second to settle in, see if that's sustainable for you, make an adjustment if you need to. Once you feel like you can move forward, you're going to begin your demi point and point. So I'm not sickling my foot, I'm nicely aligned through my leg. I'm holding my ankle steady and I'm articulating at my MTP, my metatarsal phalange joints. Back and forth, and then I'm going to do a little twist. So this twisting action where I look at the sole of my foot and then I look at the top of my foot, looking at my toenails, this twisting action is really important for balance and weight shift. If our foot is too stiff and we can't make the micro adjustments that are needed in movement, we run the risk of either falling, losing our balance, or sort of straining other joints, straining at the knee or the hip. So while some of you as dancers might have feet that are too flexible and you really need to work on your stability, some of you might actually be a little bit stiff through this part of the foot and need a little bit more mobility. So we're always trying to hit that sort of peak point between mobility and stability, finding that sweet spot where we get both features. All right, and then after I've done my twisting back and forth, I take my hand out. I enjoy that experience before I move on to scissoring. Oh, I forgot to circle the ankle. Sorry, circle your ankle. Sorry. Circle your ankle in both directions, trying not to use the leg, trying to really use this arm to kind of mobilize the ankle, experience all different joint positions, different contacts between the bones. Now we move on to the toes. So taking a hold of your big toe and your second toe, you're going to scissor back and forth. Taking a hold of your second toe and your third toe, you're going to scissor back and forth. Third and fourth, fourth and fifth. I like to go back the other way. I like this one. And then we go into our little toe circles. So we hold our metatarsal steady. So I'm kind of holding at that big joint there. And then I'm going to take a little pull and a little circle in both directions with the toe. And then I'm going to do the next one. Metatarsal toe wiggle, metatarsal toe circle, grabbing that metatarsal. I can really feel it between my fingers, and then I give a little pull very gently, and then I circle back and forth, and then stretching both feet forward. See how you feel. Close your eyes, notice how you feel. And then go ahead and even stand up on 2 feet. See how you feel standing on 2 feet. Take a couple breaths. You could experiment with closing your eyes. Or open your eyes. You could experiment with shifting to one foot and feeling all that happens in your foot during that teeny tiny weight shift. Put it back down. Shift to the other foot. Notice all that your foot has to do to make that work well. Right? So hopefully by sort of waking up your feet, giving them a little sensory information, you are now in a better position to move forward with your standing exercises. Bye!